Well, hello. Welcome to Tarot to a T. Today we're going to do a mid-2022 reading. Mid-December 2022 reading for the sign. That was a Two of Hearts. I didn't call the sign yet, but, sometimes there's forces that know better than you. Anyway, this is going to be for the sign of Virgo. If this is your first time to my channel, welcome. And if you are coming back, welcome back. Glad to see you again. Thank you for your support. So if you have been here before, you kind of know how this goes. I'm going to open up a general inquiry. What does Virgo need to know for mid-December 2022? This will be for Virgo for mid-December 2022. Might have something to do with relationships, since that Two of Hearts flipped out on the table there, but like I said, it remains to be seen. We got something going very nicely here. Okay, cards of advice, and then we'll get started. Without further ado, there we go. Virgo, mid-December 2022. Okay. Here we go. Well, we got a Two of Spades, for sure. Two of Spades talks about a separation. Quite different from that Two of Hearts. But again, remains to be seen. Two of Hearts can have different meanings, and so can the Two of Spades. Strangely, with the Jack of Diamonds, you're looking at maybe, it could be a younger earth sign. I'll just go ahead and throw that out there. Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. The Jack of Diamonds tends to represent, for me, someone who's feeling very inexperienced handling finances. Just because there's not the experience, there's an element of immaturity, being naive. It doesn't mean anything bad is going on necessarily. It's just kind of like maybe, for example, you suddenly have more money available or resources available than you're used to, and so you're kind of, you're just new at it. You're green. With the Two of Spades, though, you're looking at some kind of separation. Usually means between two people. So that's why I'm a little bit perplexed about what this would represent. But the two people can be romantically involved, or friends, or some kind of work relationship. It doesn't have to be romantic, but it's usually pretty permanent. It could be, actually, it could be that you are leaving behind the sin experience. I don't know if you get what I'm driving at with that, but like that's behind you, and that's not going to be the case anymore. There's a permanent maturity that you've gained. For example, if that is you, let's go ahead and get more cards out here. The Four of Hearts. You're feeling very secure and connected in your home life, which is good to know. So maybe this isn't romantic. Or relationship, pertaining to relationship. But the Six of Clubs, you're looking at the potential for some major personal growth, though. The personal growth can occur pretty much in any area of your life. It's not set in stone, but it talks about the options and opportunities going forward to either obtain that personal growth, or as a result of. So far, this is pretty cryptic. I don't have a real clear storyline of what we're looking at. If it rings true for you, go with it. Okay? Don't make it fit, though. Jack. This is the colorized Joker. The colorized Joker is also the Magician card in traditional tarot. So you might have some things just occurring that are seemingly out of the air. The Magician card tends to speak to me about serendipitous events. The hand, the universe stepping in and kind of influencing things in a certain way. Usually, I see it as favorable. With the Joker energy, though, I feel like things could be up in the air. Like there's a lot of, I won't say turbulence, but things are just not settled at the moment. Let's definitely get some more cards out here. I mean, with that Two of Spades, Jack of Diamonds, it could have meant that you had something good going, like maybe a new job with some, that came, and with that new job came a different financial level, and there's some kind of separation. Yeah, that's very curious. Well, yeah, here's the Eight of Spades that talks about problems at work. We could be very much talking about career here, things being up in the air. It's you know, I'm getting the sense that maybe something, you had your grasp on something and it slipped out of your hands. Like it was within arm's reach. It was in your hand. Maybe you had it in your hand. Maybe you, like I said, you had like this fantastic opportunity to show your talents and to show what you're really worth, and it just didn't work out. Because Eight of Spades can also talk about there being a problem with somebody specific at work. So you know, let's say you go into a new work situation completely, like it's not a transfer, it's a completely a new work situation, and for some reason you just don't gel with those around you, or they're just not digging you. You know, they're not your cup of tea, and you're not, and they're not. You're not their cup of tea, and you're not their cup of tea. You know what I mean? So it caused some stress. It caused some emotional upheaval, which could be why we got this confirmation that things are feeling very secure and connected. Otherwise, in your home life, it's just maybe not in the work situation. Now, I tend to see this as a Taurus card. Again, this is an Earth sign energy. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, but the Queen has some kind of subtle power and authority. It came out with that Eight of Spades, so I feel like there's some kind of authority wrapped up with that work situation, potentially. That, I mean, it very well could be you, Virgo. You're an Earth sign for sure, or it could be that they have. No, I'm not reading it that way. I'm not even going to say it. It's more about you feeling like you still have the power, even though this may not have worked out. Intriguing, for sure, for me. You know, I'm just an observer here. I'm not involved in the situation, but I'm feeling like it's a very unique situation. Might not apply to everybody. This is a general reading, though. The Seven of Spades, something was uncovered. Yeah, the work situation, it turned out to be not as good as you were thinking it was be, or maybe they promised you something and it wasn't delivered. I mean, the outright meaning of this card is that there's some kind of lies. You know, there's some kind of deception involved. It doesn't have to be. It could also, again, mean separations between people. And with the Eight of Spades, separations between people. I think you didn't get along with somebody. Yeah. I mean, you could have been in a higher position. I'm not saying you were like this employee and the supervisor didn't like you. It could be that you were the supervisor and it just wasn't working with upper management. And they were asking you to be or do something that you weren't privy to. And then it became obvious that it wasn't going to work. Just wasn't going to work. Four of Diamonds. That's interesting. You might have gotten some kind of severance. Like, for your time and trouble, here's a little going away present. A bonus. It usually talks about prosperity in some sense. There's also a warning about overspending with this card, just to be careful how you spend it. But you got some kind of mini windfall going on with whatever happened here. I mean, this the situation maybe wasn't like overnight. Maybe you were there for a few months. You know, it wasn't like you walked in one day and you were gone the next week. I'm not really picking that up. I think it was more involved than that. And yes, you are on this new start financially. The Ace of Diamonds talks about a desire to definitely increase your income, but your net worth in general. So you were looking for this opportunity. I'm going to go back to this Jack of Diamonds. I think that was something very, very brand new for you. I think it had some power and authority that you weren't real experienced with, and it was short. Well, I'm going to say not short lived, but it didn't last. Because I think you had a fair shot at it. You gave it a fair shot. Not like they gave you the shot. It's like you took your stab at it. Again, it could have been one of those small companies. It's like family owned. You know, and the dynamics in those small companies sometimes can be tricky, right? Because everybody knows everybody. Sometimes there's family members involved. And if the family members are like in agreement that they don't like you for some reason, they find a reason to get rid of you. You know, or just to look at you as, you know, you're not fulfilling your responsibilities. Unfortunately, that's the way it works sometimes. Queen of Clubs. I was waiting for her to come out. Virgo, I'm going to give you my little speech about the month of December, even your last reading, early December. She has come out in every single reading. I'm a little perplexed by her, and I always say that. I have been saying that in the last, you know, handful of videos I've done. She's a fire sign. She's a fire sign energy. Aries, Sagittarius, or Leo. She's got that subtle authority and power, just like that Queen of Diamonds I was discussing a minute ago. She's very supportive and generous. I'm kind of interpreting this as in the month of December, we all need to be a little bit more kind to people, more supportive. Express our generosity. Perhaps give people a pass. You know, it is that season, right? It's the holiday season where you're just supposed to lighten up a little bit, if not completely. Yeah, so she made her appearance. So let's go ahead and look at your cards of advice. I know she's not going to show up there this time. Sometimes she shows up there, sometimes down here. Four of Clubs, again. You're in this kind of secure, content place in your home life. Things are very stable there. You're not feeling any, like, instability. Okay? Things are very balanced. There's a lot of security there. That's what I was trying to say. Jack of Spades, though, you're a little bit cautious about what's going to happen going forward. You could be involved with a younger air sign, Libra, Aquarius, Gemini, but I tend to see the Jack of Diamonds as a little bit suspiciousness. You're a little distrustful, maybe, of your future here. The Two of Clubs, there's some kind of communication that needs to occur that's going to restore the balance. Perhaps you need to communicate with your next employment situation in a way that clears the air. Maybe you need to communicate with someone around you in your family, your spouse. I'm also getting that maybe whatever happened, I'm not going to say it's traumatic, but there's some processing and healing that needs to happen. You know, we can get wounded in any which way or form, you know, it happens. It doesn't have to be like someone broke your heart. It's, you know, you can have your confidence bruised. I've had that happen. You know, you try not to let people get under your skin, but sometimes you can't help it. It just, they hit you in a place, or they criticize you in a place, or some kind of behavior occurs that, you know, comes out of nowhere, and then you're blindsided, and next thing you know, you're feeling crappy about yourself, or feeling like you were responsible, or you shoulda, woulda, coulda. You know, you start questioning things. It's very possible you need to go through some kind of healing, because in this Three of Hearts, This is it indicates indecision, and it can mean love triangles. You know, in love triangles, it would be indecision between two people. I don't think we're looking at romance in this scenario. I just think that you are possibly torn emotionally which way to feel about what happened and how to go forward, and possibly just kind of rebuild your identity here as in your work life. You know, who you are as a worker. It's about getting that foundation back. I don't know why I'm saying that, because this card does not talk about all that, but I'm getting that you need to rebuild the foundation of how you feel about your work ethic, and it's emotional. The Hearts definitely talks about emotions. This is a very internal matter, and the distress there and the needing to communicate. That's pretty freaking clear that you're in this place of needing to resolve some of this, I think, before you move on. 8 of Clubs. Yeah, there's a decision to be made. You might be fixed on an idea. Again, you might have an element of tending to believe something that's not true about yourself, internalizing it. I think Virgo can be pretty secretive. Virgos I know, they just want to go off and be the hermit. That's what they are. They're the hermit energy often. And along with that might come stuck ideas and having to make decisions that are important about going forward, but I'm also hearing decisions that are healthier. Like, don't get stuck in that negative mindset. Don't get stuck on the negativity of the situation, for example. Easy for me to say, but honestly, I can tell you I've been through that situation. It's very easy to get stuck on the negative aspects and not look at the positive and not build yourself back up, because for some reason you feel like you have responsibility in it, or you're afraid what they have perhaps said to you is truth, but it's really just somebody else's opinion and perspective. Honestly, we all have our own perspective. As, you know, living creatures, we have our own perspective, regardless of what the subject matter is. We cannot see through somebody else's eyes. So, anyway, 5 of Hearts, Queen of Spades. Again, with the Queen of Spades, I think that's a lot about you being secretive and keeping things to yourself. The 5 of Hearts talks about separation. So you're feeling separated. You're feeling very separated. The Queen of Hearts, I'll throw it out again, could be an air sign. You might have air in your chart. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. But the Queen of Spades, I'm sorry if I said Queen of Hearts. I think I said Queen of Hearts. The Queen of Spades, people don't trust her because she doesn't say what's on her mind, so there's a little bit of a mysterious energy around her, but it's just about you clamming up, being a hermit. Honestly, I do see that card as kind of the hermit card. But there's a subtle power and authority behind it. You know, it's about taking perhaps personal control of situations so that it doesn't get out of control internally, right? But the 5 of Hearts talks about that separation. The separation is not always romantic. For example, we could talk about somebody having to work at a long distance, like they have to travel for work. But I think in this case, it is talking about emotionally, you are separated probably from other people. You're probably isolating yourself just a bit. Let's see what other cards of advice I can get out here for Virgo. Kind of a sticky situation you're in, Virgo. It's not a celebratory place to be in, especially around the holidays. That's a bummer. It's kind of a downer here, but this actually looks better. The 10 of Hearts is going to represent you wrapping up a chapter in your life, though, that leads to ultimate happiness and celebration. What was I just saying about it not being celebratory? Actually, the 10 of Hearts is very much about celebrating. So whatever path and whatever process and experience you have to go through here, I feel like that's what the cards of advice are saying. This is going to lead to your ultimate happiness. This place, wherever it was not obviously the place you belong. Point blank. You weren't meant to be there. You were meant to touch down lightly, perhaps, and then take off again. The two of diamonds talks about balance and harmony in finances. Sometimes it does speak about finances being particularly good in a relationship. Perhaps there's a relationship on the horizon. Perhaps this represents the relationship you're already in. But you're going to reach that happiness and that balance and financial health, regardless of what you went through, which I think was pretty stinky. Just, it was one of those things I'm hearing, it left a bad taste in your mouth, the bitterness. Yeah. Yeah, so the cards of advice here are pretty clear that you are not trusting where you're going. You need to express some of the pent-up frustration and disappointment you have going on internally, because you're experiencing this internal struggle. It's not major struggle. There could have been worse cards that came out, but the Three of Hearts is about indecision, emotional indecision. And you have this support around you, because I saw this Four of Clubs and the Four of Hearts does say you have support and connection around you. So you're not alone. This is speaking to the Virgos who aren't alone, even if you feel that way. Okay? And actually I would say it applies to everyone in the larger scheme of things. Even when we think we're alone, we're really not. And it's led to you kind of going internally and separating yourself emotionally, which I think you're being advised to kind of break out of that. Definitely realize that you have to leave that mode. And it's about you making the decision here to do that. And not being stuck on some kind of, I don't want to say stubbornness. I don't think Virgo is all about stubbornness. That's more of a Taurus thing. But I think you have an element of not budging. Definitely, like when you get stuck on an idea or an opinion, that's it. It's the law, right? Yeah. That's actually keeping you stuck. Because you're headed here. There's this if you want it, Virgo. Okay? I'm going to wrap it up there. I am very sorry you're going through this little internal conflict here, but I do feel like it's all out. I mean, not out, it's all inside. People outside probably don't realize how much it affected you. I can pretty much guarantee that. Anyway, I hope this helped. If you would like to see when the next reading comes out, probably we're looking at next year. I hope the next year is better for all of us. Mine wasn't fantastic. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't fantastic. If for some reason I can get to a bonus reading, there might be one before the end of the year. But if you'd like to see when that comes out, get notified, hit subscribe, notifications, or save a video so you can find my channel again. And just check in. That's okay too. Until I see you again, take care of yourself.